Hi guys, happy Friday. We have made it through the week and we only have 3 days left. 3. I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. You guys are going to do so well in middle school and I'm going to miss you all. Okay, so we have 3 very, very short chapters today, so I'm actually just going to read them all at once. Chapter 43, Set the World on Fire. After the teasing that Albert has taken for his shirt, Keisha and I decide to do something for him. The teasing hasn't seemed to bother him that much, but it bothers us. So we made our own shirts to go with his. We walk up behind him while he's organizing his papers into piles. Albert, do you like our shirts? I ask. He turns around and stares at me with his shirt that says steel and Keisha with his shirt that says magnesium. I think it's the first time I've actually seen Albert truly confused. Okay, Keisha says, get it? They match your shirt. But not the genius guy alone on the rock in space with his robot thing, because I told you I thought that was a bit creepy. Albert is still confused, so I interrupt. The shirts match because the 3 of us together are going to set the world on fire, like Mr. Daniels says. Yes, he says, flint, steel, and magnesium are all commonly used together for fire starters. I get it. The corner of Albert's mouth twitches, like someone else is doing cartwheels down the hall. Without thinking, I yelled to Shay across the room, hey, you tease one of us, you tease all 3. Shay has an expression like she's just smelled rotten meat, and it makes Keisha and me laugh really hard. Then I pat Albert on the back. Just wanted you to know that you can always count on us. Well, that would make you either a set of fingers or an... Albert, seriously? Keisha shakes her head and then leans forward. It means we think you're a cool dude. We're allies. I smile. He then goes back to arranging his papers. Yes, I know, he says softly. I am most grateful. Chapter 44, Tales of a 6th Grade Something. Travis drives me to school because the project I did for our book report is too hard to take on the bus. I've always used my art for projects at school, but this is a 3-dimensional scene on a piece of wood. A scene from Tales of a 4th Grade Nothing, the book that Mr. Daniels gave me to read. What's gotten into you? Travis asks. Since when do you smile like that on a Monday morning? I'm going to school feeling proud for once, so I just sit there, continuing to smile. Hey, he says, hitting me on the side of the leg. I'm happy to see you so happy about school, Al. He laughs a bit. To be honest, I wouldn't mind feeling some of that. When I get to class, a lot of kids surround me. I guess it's because the project is so big. Shay is the first to come over. She looks at the kitchen scene and I have made mostly of paper, including a working light over the sink that Travis helped me make. How did you do that? Shay asks, pointing at the lit light over the sink. There's a battery underneath. She looks disgusted. And you made that? Oliver comes over and grabs the light. Cool. Before I can move, he knocks the wire, which makes the light go off. Shay begins. Oliver, you're such a... Leave him alone, I interrupt. If I don't care, you shouldn't. Shay and Oliver are both wide-eyed, but for different reasons. Oliver smiles a little. It's okay, Oliver. I'll fix it. Shay is squinty-eyed for a bit and then laughs in a way that is louder than normal. She's pointing at my project. I read that book like 4 years ago, and there aren't any soldiers in it, she says, pointing at a picture hanging on the wall of the room I made. Max comes over. What's up? She has a picture in here. It has nothing to do with the book. Book report, Allie. Shouldn't it be about the book? Well, I say, feeling a little warm all of a sudden. Most houses have art on the walls, so I figured I'd decorate the room, and I drew pictures of my dad in his uniform. Wait, Max brightens. Your dad's in the army? Yeah. That's cool. What does he do? He's the captain of a tank division. Your father drives tanks? Seriously? That's awesome. I look up. Thanks. He holds up to fist bump me, and as I walk away, he tells the other guys about my dad. From the look on Shay's face, you can tell that her insult backfired on us. Then Mr. Daniels comes over. He's wearing a tie with books on it. Wow, Allie, that's amazing. He leans forward and drops his voice. I'm really proud of you. My response is stuck in my throat, and I watch a series of movies in my head trying to see a time when a teacher has said this to me. There isn't one. Allie, he says. Still, I can't speak. Usually when I find myself unable to speak, it's because I'm humiliated. I like this feeling a lot more. Chapter 45. My brother's question. I'm working on pictures of cupcakes that talk for an ad campaign for Keisha's business. She asked me to help her. It feels great to have someone ask me for help. As I draw, I think about my sketchbook and how I love it, but don't draw on it as much anymore. It used to be one of the only things that made me happy. Now I have other things. I hear Travis chewing gum in the doorway before I see him. Without looking up, I say, Mom told you to stop chewing gum like a goat. The whole room is not supposed to hear you. He goes silent. Weird. I finish erasing a line and look over at him. He looks kind of stiff, hands stuffed in his pockets. Then he takes one hand out and brushes his chin with his fist. Travis, what's wrong? I just want to ask you a question. You want to borrow money or something? He does a half smile of his and shakes his head. But I can see the seriousness. You can ask me anything you want, Travis. What is it? He comes over and sits on the side of my bed. That teacher of yours, Mr. Daniels, what does he do after school with you? You mean chess? He shakes his head. No, the reading. What does he do? I mean, do you just sound out the words and stuff? I put down my pencil. Well, we talk about words, but it's not the same as other teachers. Like, we never use paper, ever. He has me write letters in blue or pink sand, or sometimes shaving cream. Really? So you can read now? Well, not yet, but it's getting a little easier. It can be like running up the side of a building sometimes. I get so tired, but I am doing better. So it helps what he does. Yeah, it's more fun than learning the old way. Sometimes it's boring because he'll do a list of words that have some of the same letters in them, like light and might and night. He writes the letters that repeat in every word in red, and then the rest in black. Then he makes the words into pictures, so I can remember him better. I flip my paper over. Here, I'll show you. And I write sun with all these little lines around it pointing outward to look like the sun. And that helps you remember it? Yep. And he also does these sheets of plastic that I can write and see through, but are different colors. He puts those over the pages, and it makes the headaches better. It's like turning the brightness down on a computer. It's weird. No more headaches from reading? Really? Well, I still get them, but they're not nearly as bad, like a little stick hitting my head compared to a baseball bat. Travis smiles and stands up. Well, I'm glad he's helping you, and I'm glad that you have Keisha and Albert. You're doing great. You're doing great too, Albert. You're doing great too, Travis. Not long before you'll open up Nickerson Restoration, right? He nods and turns to leave. He doesn't talk about the neon sign he'll have or the big rolling tool cases or anything. I miss hearing his mouth running like a motor about his plans. Travis? He turns. Yeah? I could try to help you. Nah, he says, brushing his chin with his knuckles. I don't need you to do that. I was just wondering. All right. I'll see you guys next week. Have a good weekend.